Hello everybody, Ckixy here, and today I got a bit of a tutorial on my 15-digit display system, or subtraction system actually. So as you can see, we have 15 lights here, and if I go over to this and press this button, it subtracts 1, and then you could just keep pressing it as much as you want, and it will keep subtracting 1. And then as you want to reset it, you just press this button and it fills it back up. Here we have a vertical one, so you can see it's all the way to the top. And if I press the button, it subtracts 1 as well. And so if you're wondering what this is used for, it's more for custom maps and that. So say I built this for a tower defense use. So you have a tower defense game, and if an enemy reaches your base, you want it to subtract health, but you can't use like scoreboard or anything like that. So what you do is you use this system, so as something reaches your base, it touches a pressure plate or something hooked up to a monostable circuit, and it'll start retracting life. And then as the game ends or resets, it just presses the button once, or an input somewhere else, and it will just fill it back up. And so I do want to note that this system is not compact at all. It's more of a game component, so it's just something that you put within your game that you want to make, and it's not really meant to be compact because it's a behind the scenes type element. So let's get right into the tutorial. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is this is going to be your front, so that's towards your back. So towards the back you want to place 2 blocks like this, and then on the very back block you place a block and 2 blocks off to the side of it and break it. And then off of this single block here you want to place something like so. So it kind of looks like an arrow. Now in these 2 dips you want to put one comparator facing towards the single block and one facing out of it. And then in the front center facing towards the right side you want to place a comparator, and then one behind it facing the opposite direction. Now on the single block over here you put another block on top, and then out the front comparator where it's facing you place your next block. Now you just want to put redstone dust here and on these 2 blocks. Now what you want to do is place 2 blocks out the back of the single block right here, and then break the middle one. And then you place your sticky piston facing towards this block right here, and then you could remove the back one. And now off the sticky piston going towards your left, you want to place 2 more blocks and remove the center one, and put a torch in between that facing towards the piston. Now you want to build 2 up and build your monostable circuit. So first you want to put a repeater with 2 ticks on it. The 2 ticks is very important because the torch will flicker, but it's so short that it cannot have enough time to drain more than just 1 tick of distance. Now against this block you want to place a piston facing up and a block on top of it and off the side of the piston. Now the last part you have to do is place another repeater in front of the piston, and then place a block off of the redstone here and off of the repeater, and just put buttons on them. So the buttons are not needed, and I would highly suggest not using them because this is a game component piece. The buttons are just for debugging the system to make sure it works. Eventually you'll have like the reset line, like say if you lost all your health, it will reset the game, and then as the game resets it'll come along here and repower the system, so it kind of acts as a reset line. And so you would have this wired up to some other like shutdown of the game system or startup, and then over here the subtraction would be hooked up to your subtraction system, or whatever's taking away from your 15-digit display. So as you can see, if I press this button it fills up all the way, and then if I press this button it starts taking it away little by little, but you cannot see that because I don't have a display. So let's come over here. I have two mirrored next to each other. So you can see I have the input right here, and this comparator faces towards the single block up in the air. Now this is your output, so you could have multiple outputs. You could put one in front of it, off to the side, or you could even go off the top. I like to go off the front just because it kind of pushes the display out a little bit forward. So we're going to go 15 blocks out, and then just layer lights in front of that. And a lot of misplaces. Now lights are sort of like comparators, so if a block is powered, they could receive a signal from a powered block. So this one right here will power the one in front of it, but not next to it. If I had the redstone right on top of it and this was powered, it would power lamps next to it. So you want to make sure that you're powering the block behind the lamps, and that also gives you more room to give a sort of decoration around the lamps, like so. You could just layer blocks on top of it or on the bottom, just give it a nice little display. Usually what I do is I use stairs to kind of give it an indented look, and it looks pretty good. So let me just finish this up, and then we can power it on for the first time and test to see if it works. Okay, so now if I press the reset line, it should fill it up all the way. And then if I press this button once, it should subtract 1. Yep. And then from there on, it subtracts it all the way down until it reaches 0. So now this one is along the side. We can make it face whichever direction that you want. Either, to the left or to the right. Now if you want it vertical, it's a little bit more difficult. What you want to do is take a piece of redstone, put it on top of the output block, and then put a stone slab out the front and a repeater. So this is going to be your guideline. So now what you want to do is take a block, put it in front of the repeater, and build it up 15 high. Right there. And now what you want to do is go diagonally from it, like so. And you want to make it diagonally away from the machine. So whichever way your machine's facing, like say your machine's facing towards the right and the output's there, you want it to be facing towards the right. And then here I have it on the left, so it's facing away from it, so it's more towards the left diagonally. And that also goes to 15. Now we want to layer lights in it, and the lights go in this little dip right here, all the way to 15. So if you count 15, this one actually doesn't work down here. That repeater only goes forward to there. So we could block this off and fill it up all the way. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to go diagonal from each other and go up one block each time. So this is the first one, then go diagonal there, and then just keep going back and forth until you reach all the way to the top. And make sure that it's at the upper part of the block so you could actually place redstone on top of it. And now you want to stop here where it's pointing towards the only block there that has the lamp behind it, and that's the very top. Now the ones directly in the back will only be 2 long, like so. The ones on the side are going to be 3 long. So you want to do that to all of them. And this display does take a lot more resources, but I personally like the vertical display. Now you want to take your redstone dust, and on the 3 long ones, you want to place a dust in the front and in the back. And then on the 2 long, you just want to place a redstone on the very back. So do that to all of them. Okay, now that you have that, the last step is your repeaters. So on the triple ones, or 3 long, you're going to put the repeater in between the redstone, and then on the 2 long, you put the repeater in front of the redstone. And then do that all the way up, and that's the last step for the vertical display. So let's power it up. As you can see, it fills up all the way, and when I press this button, it will start subtracting one at a time. Now this does have a 1 tick delay because of the repeaters. There's not really a fix for that currently, so it's just going to be slightly delayed, but it's not much. Also, you're going to have all that game component stuff, so it has a delay to it. So that's about it for my 15-digit display subtraction machine. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time.